Hey guys, Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this commentary is all about Painkiller already. And, there's a couple things I want to say. First, I know I've got some plans. I can't get all to it fast enough. But, spit it out, Woody. Last Friday's episode, the one from just a few days ago as you watch this, was one of the best ones we've had in a really long time. So if you missed it, you missed out on, like if you like PKA at all, then you should be sure to check that one out. I'll link to it at the end of this video and such, and you'll be able to find it. But we had Harley and Tyler on from Epic Mealtime toward the end. We had Ed Bassmaster on there. XJaws stops by and tells his story about hanging out with Justin Bieber. And it was a good show. Everybody liked it. I've been getting these compliments like, Woody, you should have your own radio show, and it was so good, and they liked it a ton and stuff like that. So if you like Painkiller already but missed Fridays, then you should check that out. If you like Painkiller already, this will be good news to you. I am uploading starting tomorrow a Painkiller already episode every day for the next like 16 days in a row, something like that. Here, I'll check it out real quick. Yeah, 17 days in a row, because one of those days we're going to make a new one. So 17 days in a row of new Painkiller already stuff. And there's a couple of reasons I decided to do it. But like I had a subscriber who wrote to me and said, Woody, like you got the Painkiller alreadys on your channel and stuff, and I appreciate that you put a playlist together, but it's not very good. The episodes are out of order, and there's episodes that are missing and things like that. And there's a reason for that. Not a very good one. It's just that I didn't take PKA very seriously. I don't know. It was just like a show that we did away. I didn't even think people would like it. Wings was like, we were having these Skype conversations at the time, like Wings, Kyle, and I, and we were laughing, and we'd talk at night all the time. And he's like, people would like this. If people were to sit in on the conversations that we had, then they would find this to be pretty entertaining. And Wings has these big ideas, and I tend to be that guy who thinks that it's probably not going to work out. And Wings was like, no man, we could be as big as Host Migration, which was a podcast that like Hutch, Cnanners, and Trumpy did back in the day. And I was like, no, we don't have what it takes to make a podcast. But it turns out that it's a really popular podcast, and I didn't want to be the guy that did a crappy job managing it anymore. Something about PKA seems like it should have a public archive that's done right. So that's why I decided to fix it up. So, there it is. Over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a new PKA uploaded every day. Also, I've spent a couple hours cleaning up the playlist. So every episode that's on there is now on there in order, from new to old. And there's going to be a new PKA on Friday, so you'll be able to tell that it's the new one from the episode number. Like we just did 122, so it'll be 123. And when you see them uploaded and they're like 16 and 19 and the ones that I didn't have on there, then you'll know, that those are the old ones, just in case old ones don't appeal to you as much as new ones. Now, the tech has changed a bunch. It used to be just a Skype recording, so there's still images on these, and now it's like Google Hangouts and all that stuff. PKA has always kind of led the way with tech. Like, we went on, just iTunes at first, which is what everybody did with their podcasts. And then we were the first guy to live stream on Twitch, and then we were the first people to move from... And when we live streamed on Twitch, I don't even know if we had a webcam at first. I think it was just like, it was just a still image on Twitch. And then we, stepped up from there, and I used to use me as the webcam thing for Twitch. And then, we went to the next level, and we got webcams on everybody and used Google Hangouts. And now I'd really like a PKA Google Hangout overlay, but I'm not that good at Photoshop. So if anyone out there wants to make a PKA Google overlay, then I don't know, somehow leave a link in the comment or something, and I'll check those out. I'd love to have a cool overlay for Google Hangouts that made the show look nicer. But yeah, so I went from thinking PKA was this goofy little thing that I didn't, I don't know, I didn't think would go anywhere, to now feeling like I'm this, maintainer of an archive of a show that a lot of people care about. So I started taking that more seriously, and I cleaned up the playlist, and I'm uploading the lost episodes, and I'm putting it together, and I'm kind of doing it right. Some PKA trivia, questions that I get all the time. It stands for Painkiller already, and here's where it came from. Wings and I were putting together a Game Battles team in Modern Warfare 2, and we weren't used to playing with the caliber of player that we met at the time, right? Like, you know, when Wings and I played, we were often, I mean, this sounds crazy, right? Because everyone says I suck, but we were often the best people in the lobby. And then when we started meeting these like super players, literally like 20 seconds into the game, people would have their third death already or whatever it took, fourth death, and they'd be on Painkiller. And, you know, I swear, like, you know, in Terminal, you start over by A Dom and you sort of rush your way towards C Dom and, you know, the enemy spawn down there outside. By the time I got there, people were on Painkiller. And, you know, Wings and I would, like, jokingly, mockingly complain, be like, really? Painkiller already? And that became the name of the podcast. Like, that's where it came from, this complaint that our teammates were just wrecking people so hard that they had Painkiller by the time we met them. Like, that was that was where the name of the show came from. In retrospect, I like the name. It doesn't mean anything anymore, and I guess that's okay. Like, a good name for, I think, a good name for a show or whatever doesn't really have to be all that meaningful. You know, if you think about the YouTube channel names, like Cnanners, for example, is the one I use a lot. That name doesn't really mean much until you define it with the man behind it, and you know, that to me is where Painkiller already is now. As a COD reference, it's pretty dated and doesn't mean anything, but I think Painkiller already means a podcast. You know, I bet even Painkiller means podcast just as much as it means, you know, Death Streak perk thing from Modern Warfare 2. So you know, so that's that. But yeah, you're going to see daily uploads, and now you know why. Also, and I guess this played a role, I'd be lying if it didn't, but I'm going on vacation. I'm going on the surfing trip to Nicaragua sometime during all these uploads, and it's a way for me to kind of keep the lights on the channel and, you know, make sure that I have daily uploads. I want to, you know, keep this thing sort of cooking even though I'll be out of town. So, yeah. That's Painkiller already. It's turned from something that was just kind of a goof into something that, you know, I really take seriously and I think is pretty awesome. So, you know, I've been up at night maintaining the playlist, checking all this stuff out. I've got 16 uploads going on right now simultaneously, and I hope that you guys like it and, you know, feel free to watch it. All right, on the left is the playlist that I talked about, where you can see all the old Painkiller already stacked, ordered, etc. And on the right is the show that I talked about that was especially good. So I hope you check those out. And if you're new around here, maybe you'll become a Painkiller already fan. Give it a shot. It's a long show, but, you know, lots of other people like it. You might too.